So in this lesson, what we want to do is open an image that we have found on Google, and then also talk about image size and what that means for us as a yearbook staff and what we need to have our images be in order for us to print them for the yearbook. So first things first, you can go ahead and go to Google and you can search whatever you want to. The only real reason that you would need to search for something in Google and then use it later on, especially when it comes to yearbook spreads, is backgrounds. Now, while we're practicing in Photoshop, a lot of times you might go to the internet and search for an image and bring it over and try to use it in Photoshop. The thing you always have to be careful of is that a lot of times the image size that is put up online is a lot smaller than what we need, just because the bigger the file sizage, which means the better quality the image is, the more space it takes up. And so most people don't like to post really high quality images out there because it just takes up too much space. So a couple of things we want to pay attention to. Let's just search. I'm going to search for a dog because if you know anything about me, you know how much I love my pup, Sully. So let's say this one's cute. Let's say I want to use this photo. So what I would do is I would right click and say save image as. And a lot of times when I'm just bringing them down from the internet, I like to just stick them on my desktop and then I'll get rid of them later. So it's just, I don't know, apparently my internet is really thinking here, so I'll just give it a second and see if it pops up. There we go. So I like to just leave it on my desktop and then I'll just put dog and hit save. So it'll pop down here and it looks like I actually chose a file that Photoshop isn't going to be able to open. We'll see. Yep. It looks like it is a web file. So mine won't actually work. And that just happens to be sometimes. It's not actually a JPEG file, so I can't actually open it. So that's actually a good learning experience for us. So probably what I'll do is I'll just delete this and go back and see if I can find another one. So just because I am particular, let's say golden retriever. Let's see. This one's look at this little guy. Oh my goodness, this one's fun. We'll see if this will work. So I'm going to say right click again and say save image as. And think. Just slow today, I guess. Good lesson in patience here as we wait for our internet to figure it out. Okay, so I'm gonna again put dog and hit save. Okay, so do you see here the difference? This is in Windows. This is the little icon for a JPEG image, which happens to be what ours is. And so this one I will be able to open in Photoshop. So you can do this multiple ways. If you click on it, it actually opens in the photo viewer. And so what I can do is I can right click and say open with and then choose Photoshop, which is usually what I will do. And then it'll pop into Photoshop here. So a couple of things I just want to point out. When you eventually find an image you can open in Photoshop, this is part of the reason it's really nice to have our rulers up here. So you're actually going to see that right now this image is about 4 inches wide and 2-3 inches high. So we can actually double click on our hand tool and get it to fit on screen. And this is actually a really great example. If you notice, it's going to look really pixelated. And the reason that is because if we were to go to our image and then choose image size, it's going to tell us that the resolution is at 72 ppi. So you can see that right here. Here's 72 ppi. PPI means pixels per square inch. And so most of the images that you find online are going to be at 72 because that's web quality. Web quality, when you look at an image online versus when you put it in print, um, web doesn't need to be as high of a resolution. To put it in perspective, when we print for the yearbook, we need our resolution to be at 300, bare minimum, if not higher. So the fact that this resolution is at 72, we could never print this and put it in the yearbook. It's just not high enough quality. But for the fact that we wanted to just maybe use this photo to do a few different things, that would be acceptable. We could use it. We're not going to print this. We're just using it to practice from. So that would be an okay thing for us to do. So I just wanted to show you a few different things about how you can get images off of online, because you will need to do that for some of your assignments. Make sure that when you choose them that they are JPEGs, because this, you can see the .webp means it's a web page. So we can't open that in Photoshop. We can only open JPEGs, which are little picture icons, or we can open other Photoshop files. And then when you get it into Photoshop, check to see what the resolution is. Again, because we're practicing right now and we're not working on the yearbook, 72 is okay. Because, like I said, honestly, you're not going to find very many pictures online that are going to be higher than 72. That's why all of our pictures that we use for the yearbook are taken with our cameras, which are batched, which is a fancy word for changed to be at a resolution of 300 so that we can print them. Okay? So in the next video, what I'm going to show you how to do is use your crop tool. So I'll meet you over there.